Ever wondered what happens when engineers throw out the rulebook and build cars purely for victory, not safety? We're talking about machines so extreme, so unbelievably fast, they were deemed too dangerous for any public road. Prepare to witness 5 legendary race cars. From the iconic Porsche 917 to the monstrous Lancia Stratos Group 5 that pushed the very limits of what a vehicle could be, and why they were unleashed only on the track. What if a machine was so potent, so single-minded in its pursuit of victory, that it became a menace anywhere but a controlled racetrack? These aren't just supercars. They are pure, untamed beasts, engineered with one goal in mind: cross the finish line first. Comfort, practicality, even basic safety for a daily drive? All of it was thrown out the window. Today we're exploring 5 legendary machines that are not just fast, but fundamentally unroadable and dangerously thrilling. These cars exist beyond the white line, in a world where speed is the only law. Our first stop is the hallowed asphalt of Le Mans, home to one of the most fearsome race cars ever created, the Porsche 917. When this car debuted in 1969, it sent shockwaves through the motorsport world. At its heart was a monstrous air-cooled flat 12 engine, a masterpiece of engineering that initially pumped out over 500 horsepower and would later exceed a staggering 1,000 in its Can-Am form. But it wasn't just the engine. The 917 was an exercise in extreme aerodynamics, with a long, swooping tail designed to keep it glued to the Mulsanne straight at over 220 miles per hour. So why was it so dangerous? In its early form, the 917 was notoriously unstable. The very aerodynamics meant to save it made it terrifyingly unpredictable. Professional drivers, some of the best in the world, called it a handful, a widowmaker. At extreme speeds, the rear end would lift, causing the car to wander and twitch. Imagine trying to handle that on a bumpy B-road, with oncoming traffic. It was a machine that demanded absolute respect and skill on a closed circuit. Its sheer dominance at Le Mans revolutionized endurance racing, forcing rule changes to rein in the unlimited power of these prototypes. The Porsche 917 was a legend, but its raw power proved it could only ever live on the track. From the high-speed sweepers of Le Mans, we now journey to the dusty, perilous, and unpredictable world of rally. Here danger took a different form, and our next car is the absolute embodiment of that wild spirit, the Lancia Stratos Group 5 Silhouette. The standard Stratos was already a legend, a purpose-built rally weapon that looked like a wedge-shaped spaceship. But the Group 5 version took things to a whole new level of insanity. It was wider, lower, and had aggressive aerodynamic bodywork that earned it the nickname Silhouette. Underneath that wild exterior was a Ferrari-sourced V6 engine, but Lancia strapped a massive turbocharger to it. The result was brutal, explosive power delivery. It wasn't a smooth curve. It was a switch. Nothing, and then suddenly everything. Combine that with an incredibly short wheelbase, and you have a car that was constantly on a knife's edge. It was twitchy, nervous, and utterly unforgiving. On a gravel stage, in the hands of a master like Sandro Munari, it was magic. But on a public road for a normal driver, it would be a nightmare. The explosive power and hair-trigger handling that made it a rally god also made it completely unsuited and incredibly dangerous for civilian life. The spectacular crashes were just as famous as the victories, a testament to its untamed character. If the Lancia Stratos was a wild animal, our next car was a full-blown monster, born from the most insane era of motorsport ever, Group B Rally. This was a time when regulations were loose and power was king. Driving the S1 was a sensory assault. The noise inside the cabin was deafening. There were zero creature comforts. The power delivery was sudden and violent, a gut punch of acceleration that defied physics. Rally legends like Walter Rell said you had to steer it with the throttle, essentially driving sideways to go straight. It was a rocket ship that could accelerate to 60 miles per hour on loose gravel faster than most supercars could on tarmac. Putting this machine on a public highway would be a death trap. It was too loud, too violent, and too demanding for anything but a closed special stage in the hands of a driving god. The Group B era was ultimately banned for being too dangerous, and the Quattro S1 stands as its most terrifying and glorious ghost. From the chaos of the rally stage, let's return to the elegance and raw speed of circuit racing. Our fourth machine is a car often cited as one of the most beautiful ever made, but don't let its looks fool you. Beneath that stunning bodywork lies a pure, undiluted predator, the Ferrari 330 P4. This was Ferrari's answer to the Ford GT40, a machine built with the singular purpose of winning Le Mans. It was a masterpiece of Italian engineering, powered by a sublime 4-liter V12 engine that sang one of the greatest automotive anthems of all time. It was incredibly low-slung, wrapping around the driver and engine as tightly as possible. So why wouldn't you want to take this beauty for a Sunday drive? For starters, it wasn't designed for it. At all. It was built for speed and handling, with absolutely no concessions for real-world driving. Many versions were open cockpit prototypes, exposing the driver to the elements and extreme speeds. The heat generated by that glorious V12, sitting right behind your head, was intense. Forget air conditioning. You'd be lucky not to get cooked. The power curve of the engine was designed for a racetrack, meant to be kept at high RPMs. It would be jerky and difficult to manage in stop-and-go traffic. And the basics? Forget it. No indicators, no proper headlights for night driving, a ride height so low that a speed bump would feel like a mountain. The 330 P4 is a work of art, but it's an aggressive, demanding piece of art that belongs only in a museum or on a historic racetrack. So there we have it. The Porsche 917, the Lancia Stratos Group 5, the Audi Sport Quattro S1, and the Ferrari 330 P4. Each one a legend in its own right, a champion forged in the heat of competition. But they all share one crucial trait. They aren't just powerful cars. They are purebred racing machines. Their very DNA, the engineering that made them so dominant, also makes them fundamentally incompatible with public roads. They are too fast, too loud, too demanding, and too compromised. They represent a level of performance so extreme that it becomes genuinely dangerous outside the controlled environment of a track. These cars weren't built to be driven. They were built to be unleashed. They are a thrilling reminder that sometimes the greatest machines are the ones that are too wild to be tamed. What other forgotten beasts do you think push the limits of speed and safety? Let us know in the comments below. We love reading your suggestions. And if you enjoyed this dive into automotive extremes, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.